what's up, Don Squad? So, so guys, I apologize for that little intro. I promise I might not use it again. But anyway, who am I to kid? So anyway, guys, I'm like I said, this is story time with Don Squad, and I'm gonna be starting this every once in a while. So we're pretty much gonna be starting this. This is gonna be episode 1. And pretty much, I'm going to be explaining how the concept of the Chuck E. Cheese suit works, because this is pretty much things that I had to deal with while I was working at Chuck E. Cheese. So this is going to be the explanation on how most of my days of doing Chuck E. Cheese worked. So I'm going to explain the suit, because I just watched this video of a guy who pretty much did almost the exact same stuff as what I had to deal with. So grab your snacks, grab some water. Or soda in this case. I'm drinking soda. Not sponsored. I work there anyway, so doesn't matter. Ugh. Maybe I shouldn't have put ice. Anyway, guys. So, sorry. All right. So anyway, guys. Oh, and before this video begins, if you guys want to, I am a now profound ambassador for a group called Rising Street Gear, and if you guys want to, you can use my code called Dom25, and then you have a store-wide gift, which is a I think it's a 25% discount off, which is called VIP 50, I think. If that's not right, I'll put it both in the screen or in the link in the description. So anyway, guys, if you guys want to get the dopest gear, I will have pictures of which each of the dopest gears, what they have. They have komodos, they have jackets, pants, you name it, they got it. All right, on to the video. So pretty much, guys, with the Chuck E. Cheese suit, if you guys did not know, I worked there, and I still have maybe the name tag. I have the shirt that I wore, and I think that's it. Yeah, I just got the name tag. So pretty much what I did there while I was working at Chuck E. Cheese is, one, I was the game attendant. I had a game card, and I used to scan each game to always make sure the games were like the lights would work. I had to make sure that the tickets would come out properly. I had to make sure that the game was working properly. The visuals on the game everything was fine. So that's pretty much what I did. And then I also did the ticket stacker, which was also where I restocked the tickets into the machines, and making sure that the tickets were stocked and everything. Also making sure that we had a few coin games. We had Birthday Party. We had which other one we had? We had the UFO one, that was a coin game. And then we had the soccer ball game, that was a coin game. So we had those 3 games, and I think those were the only, yeah. And then we had one more that was like a Monopoly one, that was a coin game. Yeah. And then we had one more coin game, which was just like a coin pusher game where you can shoot coins. Now the thing about the pros and cons with Chuck E. Cheese and the games. Pros was so I'm gonna hold up what is here. Pros was the fact that I got to be able to get free food in the back. If we had extra food, I'd be able to take it home. Being able to work the games whenever I was able to go on break, I'd be able to play the games. And another pro was I got to make friends. Cons was having to deal with the machines every once in a while. Having to, if the tickets were jammed, I had to refix the whole machine, or sometimes shut the machine down just for a sec. And then the third cons to it was having to do the Chuck E. Cheese costume. Now here's my reason. Now don't get me wrong, that was another pros, and was doing the costume. That was like my 4th one. The only reason I say that was also a cons is because the fact that the costume in itself. Now, kid you not, people, this was in summer. This was in the summertime, so it was during June and July. And yeah, I think this was June, July, August. Yeah. So it was about maybe 3 to 4 months. Maybe, yeah. So pretty much June, July. Here's the funny part about it. It was hot. And I'm not talking about just hot. It was hot. And the funny thing about it was, I did the costume maybe almost, I worked pretty much, let me see. Yeah, this was during summertime, so I wasn't in school at this time. And pretty much, I think I was either 16 or 17 when I started this job. I was 16. So pretty much what ended up happening was, I did the costume almost every day when I was there at work. Now, sometimes I would work in the morning, or sometimes I would work in the afternoon, until the afternoon. But I think mostly I worked there in the morning. So, pretty much every day I got there, I would swipe in, I'd clock in. I'd also check the games as soon as I got there, made sure the tickets were stocked, cleaned everything. Because pretty much we had this circle. We had this thing that we had to follow, which is you stack the tickets, stack like 2 games of tickets, make sure you stand 2 games, make sure that they're working properly. And then what you do is wipe down the tables, clean your space, clean up the floors if the floors look dirty. And then you teach kids how to, you teach your people, the people there, how to win jackpots, how to score mega jackpots and stuff like that, clean the restrooms, and then wait 30 minutes, because that's a 30-minute routine is what we had to do. Is clean the games, make sure the tickets were stocked, make sure the tables were looking decent, making sure that the floors were clean, making sure the dance floor for when Chucky came through was clean, making sure the birthday area was okay, making sure bathrooms were kept up and cleaned and everything, making sure that you showed everyone how to win a game, so on and so forth. So I started doing that for a while. But back to the suit. The suit. Whew. Now, don't get me wrong. I love doing the suit. The suit was amazing. Pretty much the setup is, I'll pop up a picture of exactly what it looks like, and then I'll explain, well, I can explain it once it's here. So this is what it would look like. You have the head, you have the shirt, you have overalls, which is the pants, and it's overalls that go over your shoulders. And then you have the gloves that go all the way up to your arms, pretty much. And then you have the shoes. So let me explain how the setup goes while you're looking at this picture. Pretty much the first thing that you would worry about is putting on, I normally put on the shoes first. That way I have them prepared. That way I don't, let me see, did I necessarily put on the shoes first? No. So I took my shoes off, and then what I would do is I put on the overalls first. The overalls were the first thing you had to put on. If you didn't put on the overalls, you'd be pretty much doing it backwards. So overalls were first. Next were the shoes. The shoes, I didn't really have to tie as much because they're already pre-tied for you. If you wanted to tie them to where you feel they fit good for your foot, then by all means. But I never had to tie them once. I just slip them off, boom. Easy peasy lemon squeaky. So, overalls first, shoes next. Next step was to put on the gloves. Now, I kid you not, the gloves were kind of a hard maintaining because Chucky, he is a mouse. So, he doesn't have he doesn't have hands, he has paws. So pretty much you put on the sleeve, it goes all the way up to your arm, and you have to take how the heck did I do it? So, okay, Chucky has, I believe, 4 fingers. Well, 4 paws in this case. So he has one here. Well, let me see. Because he had a thumb here, finger here, and then a finger here. Okay, so yeah, it pretty much went like this. You would pretty much put a finger here, and then one there. So in the picture, you can see how exactly it looks. So that's how you would have it on both your hands, which is pretty much something like this, I think, if I'm not mistaken. It was a little bit harder because when I had the glove on, I had to have it here, and I had to snug it into place so each hand could actually work, so I can actually interact with somebody. The next step was the shirt. Now, the shirt wasn't too hard. All you had to do was just make sure it was within, pretty much covering up your sleeve, and it was a long shirt, so it was kind of a good thing to actually, know that you could just and not have to worry. So after that was the head. Now, the head was actually the heaviest thing. Me being 16, I actually didn't worry too much about the head, but sometimes it was hard to control it because you can see, because the eyes are big enough and they have the little patches, little tiny cut patches, so you can actually see in them. The only thing is controlling pretty much on your shoulder. So I remember it was me and these 2 other girls that got hired, and we had one tall girl. She was tall as heck, and then the other girl was short. Now, you can tell the difference with Chucky because each worker could be a different height, and you could tell if Chucky was tall or short. Now, what was funny is when we had the girl that was also got hired with me, I think we're all over 16, or something like that. And I remember when we had the tall girl, when we had her, you could tell the difference. She was tall as heck. So when you see Chucky walking, you just see a big head. And I'm like, dang, man, she really is tall in that costume. Good grief. Now me, I think I was about maybe 5'10", 5'9", maybe close to 5'11" almost. And pretty much I'm standing there, and you could tell in my height, I'm like, yeah, if someone can't notice this is me, this is funny. Now, here's the thing. I used to be able to do the impression of Chucky. I'm not sure I can do Chuck E. Cheese anymore, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Hi, I'm Chucky. Welcome to Chuck E. Cheese. That wasn't actually too bad at all. You know what's like, guys? Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, so yeah, once you had everything on, the costume would look complete. And I pretty much had the costume on for about maybe, how long did I normally have the costume on? Okay, so normally if I had a birthday party, I'd have that on. And depending on how long the party was, normally it was about maybe, the party was normally about maybe an hour. Well, not an hour, about maybe 30 minutes at most, because sometimes the party times would be so considerate, because sometimes there would be one party, then a party right after. So sometimes I had to do double parties, and that was even harder, because what I would do is, normally if I had time, like before the next party started, I could just walk around and do my walk around, because normally what we would do is we have Chucky that comes out every once in a while to do a walk around and take pictures and stuff like that. So we normally would do that before a party, or we'll do it like after the party when Chucky's done with a party, and then go ahead and just walk around. I maybe did that about maybe a few times, maybe about like six or seven times, because the thing about it was, on the times that I didn't have parties, I just walk around in a suit. Now, here's the thing. At Chuck E. Cheese, you were never called a team member. You're called a cast member. So that's the only difference about it, is working at Chuck E. Cheese, you're not considered a team member or a game attendant or whatever you are. Sometimes I can consider you, yeah, he's a game attendant. But right now, you're not considered that. You're considered a cast member. So we're pretty much cast members. We're all doing our own thing, but we're still cast members. So we have to know exactly like when. Now, I've had a few questions. When's Chucky coming out? When's Chucky gonna come out and try to take pictures? You know, I want to go see Chucky. I had to answer so many questions. Like, why is this game not working? When's Chucky coming out? When can we take pictures with Chucky? And I used to answer it just in the way a cast member would, because sometimes we had to answer questions in our own way, and if we didn't recognize like what the question was, we had to answer in the way that because we pretty much had I don't know what I did with it, but I had a thick, and I kid you not, we had a thick, very, very thick booklet, and it had so many rules and so many regulations that we had to follow. And I was like, I kid you not, when I finally got done with it, it was about like the size of this, and I was like, you expect me to remember all this? And that's how it was, because that's how big it was. So most of the questions that people asked me, like if Chucky was coming out soon, or if, you know, the game was, now if the game had a problem, that wasn't hard. I could easily fix it, because most of the games I already knew like how to fix. And I came there when I was younger, and most of the games I was like, man, most of these are easy to fix. So I had the key, this little tiny key that I used to open up most of the games with, because I think it operated every game. I could just pretty much put the key in, and boom, it'd be open. But yeah, so we had this thing where when Chucky came out, we had a thing. So the Chucky ticket splash, where pretty much crew members would tell me, like, I'd have a crew member with me, and we'd do a Chucky dance. Now, pretty much each Chucky dance consisted of, you know, I think I remember one of them. It's called the Chucky slide.
Okay, guys, I'm about to show you a quick video of how to do the Chucky roll, and pretty much this is the video. So just watch this one and don't watch me talk about it.
I'm trying to remember what the moves, but
Hey kids, are you guys ready to dance? Now this dance is called the Chucky. Just follow along with me, and I'll teach you how to do it. Are you ready? You sure look ready. Here we go. All right, goes like this.
I'm not sure the rest
4
of
steps to the
moves,
front.
but pretty much that's just
4 steps to the back.
You guys want the front, now the rest of the
Spin to the
dance.
right, clap.
Look up,
Spin to the left,
dance
clap.
moves.
Slide to the right,
It
clap,
should
clap.
say
Slide to the
the
left, clap,
Chucky's
clap. Do the
shuffle,
roll.
something like that.
Do the roll. Again. 4 steps to the front.
If you hear in the song 4 steps to the right, 4 steps left, that's Chucky's left.
Spin to the right, clap.
The next
Spin to
dance
the
that we had
left,
to
clap.
do,
Slide to the
nobody
right,
told me
clap,
about the dance.
clap.
I didn't
Slide
even
to
know
the
how I
left,
had to do
clap,
it. And the thing
clap.
about
Do
it
the
was,
roll.
we had to do, what was it? We had to do this one dance, and none of my cast members told me about how this dance went. I just had to follow so hard and had to listen because one thing I'm gonna add up here. You cannot talk in the Chucky costume. You have to be mad silent. You can't try to communicate. You can't try to speak at all. Pretty much you had to be silent, like a mime. And I kid you not, I wanted to do the impression of Chucky so many times because I had so many kids that kept asking me, Chucky, can you talk? I wanted to do the impression right then and there. And what's funny is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I actually took and I sat there and I did it so quickly, I didn't even realize. I said, oh shoot, I'm not supposed to speak. And I remember I did it because the kid had asked me, he's like, Chucky, can you speak? And at first, I nodded my head, like I looked at the kid and I could see him. And I'm just like, but then I did the voice so fast, they looked around and they were like, who said that? And what was funny is I did it and I started laughing to myself because I was like, oh shoot. I was like, I hope one of my team members did not hear me. So I literally said, hi, I'm Chucky. And then I realized, I said, oh shoot, I shouldn't have said nothing. I walked back to the back of the back room and I said, dang it, I said something, but I don't think nobody catch. And one of my homeboys who worked in the kitchen who did pizzas, he was like, bro, did you really say something? I said, yeah, unfortunately, but I didn't think no one caught it, so I think I'm good. But yeah, so I love doing it. It was something that because I actually did something that that's actually scarred me. Not scarred me, but it's just made me think of what I've done to myself. So yeah. But anyway, guys, so if you ever want to work at Chuck E. Cheese, I'm not sure if they're hiring now. I would recommend it if you want to do it. It's a great job. It's something that's a good starter off. If you love to be an entertainer in the job, if you want to like entertain in the suit, by all means. Because I think the only reason that they kept asking me to do the suit, because I had three managers. Now, I'm not sure if they are still there. I know if they hear me mention this video to them, they're going to probably be like, why is he mentioning us? He was there, but now it doesn't matter. I'm happy where I'm at now, so, well, more or less. So, pretty much right now, like I said, if you guys want to go for it, by all means. So, yeah. If you guys do want to know, there is a certain video out there. I'm not sure. I have not seen it. I'm not sure if it's posted on social media or not. But there was a gentleman, cannot remember his name because I don't really remember names. I do remember faces that might have been the Chuck E. Cheese's and might remember me. But most videos are probably on Facebook or social media or whatever. If you guys see them and you know it might be me, send me the video and I will let you know if it's me and I will react to it if it's me. So you guys will know. So pretty much there was one video where I still remember this. The gentleman took and he asked me, I was in the suit and I was walking around. I think I was just getting ready to go back to the back and get ready to start working. And what I remember is the guy in the video, the guy was like, hey, Chucky, you want to do a video? And I didn't mind. I said, sure. So, I can't speak. So I was like, and you had to make a lot of expression with your hands. You had to either use your arms to explain things or just try to look like you're happy, excited. It went a lot of ways. So all I remember is he got the video ready. He had a hat on. Now what I remember is he said, "Yo, welcome." He's like, "Yo, guys, I've been coming to Chuck E. Cheese for so long, man. Me and Chucky been, knowing each other for so long." And I'm just in the video, and I'm like. And so all I remember is the guy had a hat. And what I did was I thought it would be funny in the video if I took the hat and ran off. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm going to run away with this hat. So the guy took, and while he was still talking, I took his hat and I ran towards the stage, and I had his hat on my head. So I'm running and I'm laughing at the same time in the costume, cause I'm like, wow, I can't believe I just did this. But I'm laughing at the same time, so I'm like, okay. And he's like, "Oh shoot, Chucky stole my hat, yeah, man." And I'm laughing, and then I remember I turned around and I'm laughing like this. So finally I walked back to him and I put his hat back on his head, and he's like, "All right, man, thank you, Chucky, man, thank you for doing this, man." And I said, and I walked back to the back room. And I was just laughing because I was like, wow, that's actually a first time of me actually being on. I mean, I think I've had multiple pictures with some of the people that are still there. And then I remember there was one time somebody actually remembered that I had actually, because what I did was these two girls that asked me, they were like, "When is Chucky coming out? And can you get him so we can see him?" And I kid you not, I think what I did was I was like, yeah, okay, I'll go get Chucky. Because half the time I asked my manager if it was okay if I could do Chucky half the time when people asked. And normally she was cool with it. Most of them were like, yeah, go ahead. Other times, I was like, okay, well, it's about time for Chucky. And if they say no, I'm like, okay, well, Chucky be out whenever I had to make up like excuses and be like, Chucky's sleeping, Chucky's resting, until he's ready to come out. So sometimes it was hard for me to be able to just be like, man, Chucky's doing his own thing right now. He, it was hard, trust me, leave. So eventually I came out and I was like, okay, girls, I'll go and get Chucky for you guys. So I said, wait right here. So they see me go to the back. Now the only problem I had with the fact that we had to, when I had to dress as Chucky, sometimes it was hard because we had this staff door that went this way, and then we had a kitchen that led to this little entrance that went to the back. So what was funny is sometimes whenever we're in the costume, or if you look at us through the kitchen thing that sits there, you can see when your pizza is made and everything. You can see when Chucky comes by, and half the time I had to be fast just to be able to get to that back door that goes through almost to the birthday area. So I remember I think I went through either the kitchen area, and the worst part about the kitchen area is whenever I came out with the suit, I had to come out with my hands on my head like this so that the head wouldn't hit the thing so hard, because trust me, it was almost like a helmet. And that thing carried a lot of weight. So I had to sometimes maneuver my head just to make sure that I wasn't in the way. Another thing, I meant to add this while I was talking about Chucky and everything. Another thing is the cast members, your team, your coworkers, they can't say your name when you're dressed in the costume. They have to say, "Hey, Chucky." And if they know it's you in the costume, they still can't address you as you. They have to address you as Chucky. So that's another thing. That's another, I think, con. Which is, I don't know how many cons I had already up here. But pretty much, you cannot be, if you become Chucky, you cannot have your name exposed to your coworkers. They already know who you are. They just can't say your name. They just can't say, "Hey, Dominic." They can have to say, "Oh, hey, Chucky." And I kid you not, I scared one of my managers one time. Somehow I was getting ready to come back into, I think either I was getting ready to go out to do my walk around, or either I was getting ready to come back in to take off the costume. And I walked, and she looked at me, and she said, "Oh, Chucky, you scared me." And I was like, and I almost said something, but I said, and I hugged her because I felt bad. I was like, dang, I didn't mean to scare her. Because I think that's actually where I picked up on the fact of being silent when I walk around somebody and I just be quiet. Because I picked up on learning how to be quiet and just pick up on, not being able to say nothing or be able to be so loud with my steps. So anyway, back to the two girls who asked me about Chucky. I came out, I did the walk around, and what was funny though is sometimes when I interacted with the games, like when I played the games, the games with kids, it was fun. It wasn't too bad. And I remember the only thing about the suit is that I sweated so much. Like I had my pores on my face just drenched. It's like literally when I took the helmet off, I was drenched. And I literally had to carry a hand towel just to try to drench my face off to look like I wasn't sweating. And the sleeves, man, bro, I think we had only one pair. So pretty much every person would be, and I was like, oh gosh. Now we had 2 spare helmets. One though was the one that we used. It was a little messed up because sometimes the helmet, if someone hits you, it would mess up your entire head. But the chin strap was not too bad on it. So I mean, it had its ups and downs. But the other helmet that we had used that one for fundraisers. Like when we had a fundraiser going on, and then that's the only time we could use that one. So it wasn't bad. I was like, okay. I was like, well, as long as I have a helmet, I'm fine. So I think, yeah, once I got done doing my walk around, both the girls ended up following me the whole time, and I was like, are you kidding me? And I hated, the other con that I hate about it is when kids that are mean to you. Kids that are mean to you in the costume, you can't say nothing, so it's hard. It's like, now if a crew member's around and you can be quiet, when you're not speaking too loud next to your crew member, you can say something then, but it's still hard because you have to make sure that no one can hear you. And I remember this too easy like it was yesterday. Some kid had ended up, what was it? Some kid ended up coming up behind me. Now, I don't have nothing behind me. I can't see. So I'm like, okay, if something happens, I have to turn fast. Now, the helmet could possibly move and then that scared the kid. So I was like, I can't move too fast behind me. So I remember a kid that came behind me and smacked me in the back of the head. Now, I realized it because the helmet echoed so fast. I said, dang, who the heck just hit me? And I didn't say it, but in my mind, I was like, man, who came behind who hit me? So I don't think my cast member saw it, but I turned and I looked and the kid looked dead at me. And I was like, I tried to get the kid ran away from me. I told my cast member, I pulled him to the side and said, man, that kid just hit me in the head and that hurt. Now, kid you not though, I was like, that's sad. But anyway, I go ahead and I get ready to come back so I can go ahead and start doing my 30-minute cleanup and everything. Both the girls end up recognizing somehow that I did the character, the Chucky. And they were like, you were Chucky, we know it because we didn't see you on the floor. I said, what? I said, I was on break and technically I was just in the back chilling, so it's hard. I had to make up so many lies because a lot of people, sometimes people knew it was me. I don't know how the heck they knew. They just knew that if I wasn't on the floor, they knew it was me. And I was like, just because I ain't on the floor don't mean that it was me. So, yeah, like I said, the suit was fun. Working the job was great. I think I got paid every Monday, so I had a pretty decent check, so it wasn't that bad. So yeah, all I know is the only thing I still have left from them is the Chuck E. Cheese name tag, which has my name on it. So yeah, but guys, I'm done rambling about that. So everything that you've heard and seen is 100% true. I can't make this up. All this was true, and no, the only thing that wasn't true is the thing that happened. And if you guys know my story, that is not 100% true. That is lies, and it pretty much is not true, but it's just I can't do nothing about it since I'm a dude, since I'm a male. And pretty much, like I said, that story itself is just pretty much, yeah, that's for another time. So one day on Storytime with Don Squad, maybe officially I can go ahead and talk about it. But until then, the story was still going to be left as it is. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you guys would like to, like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the subscribe if you're new to the channel, and give me a big thumbs up. I wouldn't mind. Just, you know, it would really help the channel. And if you guys have any questions or any comments that you want to post about, let me know in the comment section below. And if it's a personal question for me, I'll maybe answer it in the next video. With that, guys, Dom Squad, we out.